You've joined me again, friend. What if everyone is wrong? What if they're all wrong? I have the Bitcoin chart here with some rectangles, and the rectangles coincide with some moments of interest of the S&P 500. So why this is called what if everybody is wrong is because I've noticed a lot of crypto commentators, analysts, boomers, degens, everyone alike. Everybody has already decided that they know the future. Everybody has already decided that the worst is yet to come. And everybody has already decided that a big, deep recession is going to happen and play out to the full extent without any intervention next year. Starting next year. Oh, it's just the beginning. And that's why I'm asking you, what if they're all wrong? What if they're all wrong, man? What if the guys who are calling at 100k Bitcoin up here, like I thought we were going to go there, what if we were all wrong? What if when we hit COVID down here, the people calling for 3k to 2k, what if they were all wrong? What if Tone Vase and 99% of everybody who believed we were going to 1k Bitcoin down here, what if they were wrong? You know, it's interesting. There are so many periods of time, like every year there's some sort of event where everyone's wrong. It's crazy, right? So the most common argument is, firstly, you are my friend, long you longs. The most common argument is Bitcoin has never been through a big, deep recession for the S&P 500, you know. And I agree, right? On this chart, they haven't. If you watch my previous videos, I actually go through the yield curve. And the yield curve prices in future stimulus, which is what everybody should be watching. Because the stock market just correlates to the M2 money supply over time. They've got roughly the same growth rates over a long enough period. So that's why I like to look at the yield curve. I'll go, well, there were points where the yield curve just inverted and we went up anyway, right? Along with the stock market. So that's what I like to watch, because the yield curve basically says to the Fed, hey, you're too tight. And then it tells you an estimate of how hard they're going to have to stimulate after the event, right? But everyone wants to look at the stock market chart. So everyone is looking at this like, we've never been through this before. But you know what's funny? No one except me is asking the question, what if this doesn't actually happen, man? What if they're actually wrong? Let's go through. Let's just get this. We're just going to fractal it, man. We're just going to fractal it. So everyone's already decided. They've already decided this is happening. No arguments, no questions. 100% it's happening. And on the surface, they're mid-curvers and they're right. The reason is, yes, without government intervention, that's exactly what would happen. We'll go down to the Shadowlands. That's exactly what would happen, man. But we don't live in that world. We don't live in the world of mid-curvers. Mid-IQ copers think with only like one part of their brain. And that is, let's remove everything else and let's play it out in my mind without any intervention. That's how they think. That's why they're mid-curvers. Dummy dumbs, so very, very low IQ peanut brains, which is me. We just say, okay, well, you know, the world hasn't ended yet. And maybe it's probably not going to end in the next 30 years either. That's low IQ, right? The very, very high IQ argument is this. The very high IQ argument is, I'm going to give it to you right now. The giga brain, the very, very right side. It's this. It's, if you believe humans learn from the past, then you will also realize that governments in control of the money supply and stimulus, they got out of trouble in COVID here. They got out of trouble here with some stimulus, right? 2018. They stalled everything. We thought we were going to go to recession, but they kicked in another QE around here. They still supported. Here was, do you want to know what this box is? Like, you're getting all this information for free. I can't even believe this is all off the top of my head. All of this info for free. But I love you all, so you're going to keep learning. This box is Barack Obama was in charge of US, and there was the US debt got downgraded. Like, imagine that. Like, the US debt actually got downgraded. I remember this. I was trading it. And I was actually a perma-bear. I thought, wow, this is the end. You know what I thought was going to happen? Because I was very, very new to markets here. Very new. I just started. I thought this was happening. I was watching all these dead cat bounce charts. I thought, yep, we're going to retest and crash through the GFC lows. That's what I really thought would happen. I had no idea how anything worked. But guess what? The government, see, you can't print your way out of that solution. But what do? They had some phone calls. They talked to the accounting company. They say, you know what? Some of you are going to disappear unless you change that rating back to AAA and say you made an error. And they did. They said, oh, there was a typo. A very, very embarrassing typo. Oh. Governments also were around here. And they learned what to do, you know. They learned what to do. Cutting interest rate. I want you to understand something, okay? This is why you're listening to me. This is why I love you so much. So you have an edge over the average middle curve spastic. All right? They were not doing QE anywhere along this way. Anywhere along this way. Do you understand? It was just denial and some rate cuts. Denial, denial, denial. They kept saying, don't worry, the contagion is contained. Houses aren't going to explode. Everything's going to be fine. And you know what? I'm gonna put a house emoji here just so you can tell. All right? There's gonna be GFC, and sorry, we are not continuing without a bomb emoji. That was GFC. So those green arrows. This is exactly a representation of just no QE, only rate cuts. All right? So that's what they did. They kept denying. Don't worry, it's contained. It's contained. And then we just kept cutting rates. Do you know what happened down here? Down here, Ben Bernanke said, the pain stops today. He actually said, enough is enough. No one else is going down after this. He actually said that. He said that. I'm paraphrasing, but he said, that's it. We're done. We are done with the pain. And then they went and did the QE. They invented the name QE, not to say money printing, you know, because they were scared about people disrespecting the dollar. So this is what happens. This is what a high IQ guy is looking at. He's looking at, okay, this is what happens if the market only has rate cuts. Because it's the end of the fiat stage cycle, right? There's too many zombie companies. If you only have rate cuts, it's here. This is what happens if they keep doing QE. And by the way, this super high IQ guy is also, let's get the Bitcoin emoji here. He is also paying attention to this. He is also paying attention to the fact that Satoshi saw this. Satoshi saw this QE and he's like, uh-oh, we need to release Bitcoin to the world right now. We being me. The world needs Bitcoin. We need a stable money supply. You see how much of a visionary this guy was? We owe everything to this dude. All right? So, Bitcoin was made because he's like, okay. The rate cuts, that's enough. But QE, all right, here we go. You're going to keep printing, and this is exactly what humans have done since the beginning of civilizations. So now we come all the way back here. I've just walked you through what happens, right? Every step of the way. By the way, there was QE 1, 2, and 3 along this way as well. QE 1, 2, and 3. All right? And then you have the COVID QE4. So this is what happens. This is why everyone's expecting this. And yes, I will say, what if everyone's wrong? In terms of, what if they do QE faster than you think? What if the GDP starts going negative and they go, that's it, print, let's go, hyper-aggressive cuts. What if they do that? And what if we don't get a giant collapse? What if it's just like a little printed stop out? I love you all, friends. Until next time.